So in this video, I would be showing the demo of this Kanban board application I have in FastAPI and React. Basically, in this application, you would have a list of tasks which can be categorized into various categories, like to do, in progress. It's very similar to the Kanban board to do list we have in a lot of applications. So let's get started. In my Chrome. So what I'm going to do next is to log in using an existing account and navigate through all the features this application has. So let's get started. Let me log in using this account which I earlier created. So I have been logged into this system successfully, and we have this toast message which notifies us that we have been logged into this system. So this Toastify message is coming from a popular React package called React Toastify. So we have these tabs. So this tab is if you want to add a new task, you can do through this page. We have a scheduler. So a scheduler would show you the tasks which you have on a particular date in a calendar form. This scheduler is built using Day.js, and it's basically a custom calendar. And if I go to this Kanban board, so this is where you should be able to move the tasks across various categories, like if this task, for example, which is currently in to do section, if you want to move it under review section, you can simply drag this and drop it in the review section. So what it does behind the scenes, it would call this API, and it would update the status of this task through an API request. So if I reload the page again, so it stays in the review category, so it has been saved in the backend. So let's create some more tasks so that we can see all the various features it has in action. So let's create a dummy task. Let's type a description for it. I would put it in the done category, and I would give a date of let's say 1st June. So in the scheduler, it should appear under the June month. So yeah, I have this message which signifies that I have the task created, and as you can see, it's under the done section. If I go to scheduler and if I go to the calendar of the next month, we have this dummy task. And just to test things out, let's update this dummy task to a date in April, and let's see if that works. So let's go to Kanban again, and if I want to view this task, I want to update the date of this task to a date in let's say 11th of April last month, and let's also change the status of it. If I now click on update task, this is saved, and it can be saved under the seen under the to do section. And if I go back to the scheduler now, and if I check for April 11th, I can find this there we have this dummy task, so we can be sure that this thing is working. So that is about it. There are still certain features that I need to show, that if you want to delete this task, so yeah, you can do that, of course. And what else? So we have an admin panel here. Currently I'm not logged in as an admin, but if you were logged in as an admin, you would be able to see all the user data and all the task data, and also an admin is authorized to edit the user data and the task data. This is basically similar to, if you, in case you are familiar with Django, this is similar to the admin panel with which Django comes by default. It's a web framework in Python, a quite popular web framework for that matter. So yeah, that is it, I guess. So if you want to see the code of it, it's available on GitHub. I would give the link of the project in the description. I would briefly go through what packages I have used in building this. Not in a lot of details, but just I would touch upon those things. So let me go to the source code for a moment. So this is the source code I have. For the backend, I have been using a FastAPI, like I clarified in the beginning itself. And for database, I am using Postgres. I have certain test cases written as well for FastAPI. I have this authentication. We have tasks and models, routers. So this is basically all the stuff that FastAPI comes with. In case you are designing your application using FastAPI, this is the design pattern sort of which you need to follow. So what else? I also have I don't know if it's working, but I also have this Docker compose file to deploy this within Docker containers. Main.py is where this application starts from. And basically I have this port number 3000, which is where React runs. And in case you have been developing web apps, you should be familiar about with this CORS concept, that it would prevent API requests being made to this API this port on 3000, which the front end is running on. So to bypass this, I have used this CORS middleware, so it would allow requests coming from port 3000, and where the React app would be coming from. And this is where I am serving the React build through the FastAPI templates. And this is basically about backend. So this is one sample middleware which I wrote to basically would calculate the time taken by an API to process. Now coming to front end, let me first show you the package.json to just walk you through briefly what packages I have used. So this package, React Beautiful DND, is a very important package for this project. It is what powers the drag and drop feature which we saw on the Kanban board page. And I also have React Toastify, which is used to generate those snack bars, toast messages once you log in, once you create a task successfully or delete a task successfully. So you would have toast messages popping out. So that is powered by React Toastify. So we have Axios for making API requests. We have Day.js for powering that scheduler calendar, which you saw in the demo. And this is a Tailwind config.js file. So it means the CSS components are being powered by Tailwind CSS in this application. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I've been using hooks for authentication, and this project follows Redux toolkit based architecture, so about which you can go through in detail in the Redux documentation. So basically we have 3 modules. Admin module is under development, and we have auth module and task module fully functional. We have pages. There's the IR task page, home page, Kanban page, login and register page. There's this scheduler page which contains the custom calendar. So what I am doing here is I am using day.js to get the number of days in a month, and then have a block for each day in a month, and then I would iterate through the tasks and check if the task actually belongs to that particular day block. And if it does, I am simply putting that task into that day block. So this thing is happening somewhere here. So tasks and task for each. So yeah, this is where the check is been happening, and based on the due date of the task, it's been pushed in a certain date in the calendar. And you have generic Tailwind classes to make it look pretty. So yeah, that is it. One more page that I wanted to go through in detail is this Kanban.jsx, and this is where the drag and drop functionality is implemented. So if you go through the documentation of React Beautiful DND, so they have suggested that whatever feature you need to be wrapped with the drag and drop functionality, that needs to be wrapped inside this tag called drag drop context. And we have a function which executes every time a drag and drop operation is finished. So this is the function, so where we can have access to what element was dragged and what on what div the element was dropped into. So we can use those parameters, and we can have some changes accordingly. Let's say in this case I want to move one of the tasks from to do section to done section. Then I would need to get the ID of to do div and the done div, and then inside this function called handle on drag end, I would have the whole feature or the functionality, which is this checks the draggable ID and droppable ID of the source and destination, and accordingly the items current position is updated. So if it moves from a given div to a new div, then this all this block of code gets executed and its current location is updated. All this you can find in the documentation. So we have all those blocks. Let me go through the application ones. Inside this Kanban, we have these blocks. We have to do, in progress, in review, and done. So these 4 blocks would act as something called droppables. So these div, you can drop certain items on it, and that event can be captured in this function called on handle on drag end. So accordingly you can modify, or you can update the updated position of the draggable item, which is the tasks in this case. So I just updated this dummy task from in progress to in review. So yeah, this whole feature has been handled by this handler called handle on drag end. So yeah, that is pretty much it. We are almost into 13 minutes of this video, and I think it's a good time to wrap this video. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you can find the source code attached and you can go through it. If this project did help you in some way, feel free to give it a star on GitHub.